Yo, what's up? Flock of Birds here. I want to do a bit more of a focus video this time, so no live commentary over a run. I just wanted to put some Minecraft gameplay in the background, maybe like speedrun practice or whatever. But I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind recently, and that's why does social media make us so angry? Why does it seem almost socially engineered to be angry? And I've always wondered this because, like, I know it's engineered to make us angry, but how? And there's a couple of reasons. The algorithm, you know, promoting like hateful content, or like, people just being inflammatory. But I think one of the main reasons people don't talk about is that social media will punish you for being positive. And let me explain. Recently, I have been on some bad online habits. I have been engaging with rage bait and going in the comment sections on this post and like arguing with people in the comments. And it's really just not I'm not proud of it. It's very bad. I hate that I've done it. I hate that I've made those people feel worse and I made myself feel worse because of it. Because, at the end of the day, everyone behind the screen is a human, right? It's easy to think that when there's a bunch of rage bait going around that these people aren't human, that they aren't real people, that they're just robots on a screen, or rather like entities on a computer specifically designed to annoy you. No, they're just people who are just as angry as you, right? But I've been recently doing that. And recently I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead try to promote positivity. I'm going to instead try to tell people to like calm down, try to tell people like, relax, maybe get a glass of water and maybe just chill out a bit, take a walk, because I kind of want to promote that feeling of don't stare at the screen all the time, just go out and do stuff. And I tried that for a while. I tried to be a bit more positive. I tried to be a bit more reasonable, and I get flamed for it. People flame me actively for being positive, for trying to be more positive, for trying to have a bit more of a positive influence. Now, I won't lie, maybe it comes off as a bit condescending or even like corny, right? Even though I'm not really trying to be. I'm just trying to I try to do something and it comes off that way, but still I'm trying to do something good. It is very clear that I have good intentions behind my words, because I genuinely don't want to make rage bait. I don't want to engage in rage bait. I don't want to make rage bait out of anger. I just want to make positivity. And I get punished for it. People made fun of me. People said, oh, I can't believe you're trying to give advice in a comment section or give advice on this post. Don't you know that this is social media where no one can ever be happy ever and we all engage in our shitty bad habits, right? Don't you know that? They didn't exactly say that, but that's what they felt like they said, And of course, the post itself is rage bait, and the comment reply itself is rage bait. But at the end of the day, they still believed what they said. Rage bait tends to stem from a hint of what they actually believe. And of course, they don't believe exactly that, but they do believe that, to an extent, that positivity is cringe on the internet. And I hate that. I hate that positivity is seen as this such cringe thing to have, to be. It's just stupid. But it is so punished by social media, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're more miserable as a species, or maybe it's because social media is making us more miserable. But it's almost like when you try to be positive in these spaces, you get punished for it. And it's so infuriating and so demoralizing. After that, and I decided, you know what, this isn't worth it. I realized that if I wanted to do that, I can't convince people to follow my way, and if I try to do that, I'm just gonna end up being a hypocrite and falling for rage bait again, right? So I just quit it. I quit social media. I deleted the app, and I just disabled my account, right? And that's the end of that. This is where I'm at right now, and I'm making this video partially as a promise to myself to not engage in those sort of behaviors online, to not engage in rage bait, to not engage with stupid people not even like stupid people, but just don't engage with people that are not unhappy with themselves, right? Because then you'll only make yourself more unhappy. It's not worth it, you know. I don't need to be the internet's therapist. That's stupid. That's dumb. Like, but I wish I could, you know, like people would listen, but it's impossible, right? You can't, like, people are addicted to social media. So I think I've noticed this. People act very, very viscerally and negatively to you telling them to quit these negative forms of social media. I'm not telling them to quit the internet in general. I'm not telling them to delete, you know, like these chat apps and like stop interacting with their friends online. I'm just telling them to quit these toxic social media apps that are designed to make you angry. And people react so negatively to that, I've noticed. And I was like wondering why. And then what I realized is that it's an addiction, right? Because while these apps make you angry constantly, they also constantly give you dopamine. A lot of people talk about TikTok and how TikTok has caused this surge of like loss of attention span, right? Technically speaking, Twitter was like TikTok, but it was just not video. I kind of thought this over the years, like TikTok is just essentially social media, but in video form. That's essentially what it is. That's what TikTok is. Because social media is exactly the same. You know, it's constantly giving you dopamine, even though you're constantly getting like mental brain damage from it. Even though you're constantly getting psychic damage from it, you still want to stick to it because it's so addicting, you know. And especially like in places like America, right, when there's not a lot of public transportation, you see this like in massive quantities of people who don't really like are unable to travel anywhere, so they look to social media because it's their only form of dopamine at that time, and they don't have the energy for anything else. Social media is the most menial activity to do after like say work or something, right? I don't know why I said or something. Work is the only thing you would be doing that would drain your energy. I don't know. Sorry, I'm unemployed. But sorry. But besides that, right? I was gonna end the video here, but that's actually a pretty good topic. Social media doesn't fucking matter when you think about it, right? It doesn't matter. I was gonna end the video here, but like, that's a good point. Like, I forgot to bring that up. Social media doesn't fucking matter at all. That's the worst part about all this. You're getting angry and furious and all built up over things that don't fucking matter. Over people that are not, who are definitely not like this in real life, right? Because think about it, right? But you look at all these people online and you think, wow, so many people are stupid nowadays. But really, it's just, think about yourself, right? You don't go outside that often if you're like someone who's addicted to social media. You know, the only time is like, you know, talking to your like coworkers at work, and you know, even then that's a different environment than like real life, right? Like, if you're going on social media, like most of these people are just unemployed in their basement and like just typing shit, you know? They're losers. They're people who don't matter, and they will never go on to the real world. Most people are not like what you see on social media. Most people aren't like that. Like if you see like someone like a transphobe going off, you know, normal people don't talk like that, you know? Maybe your parents talk like that, right? But if you talk to most people, especially like around your age, if it's like around like the 20s or something, they don't talk like that. They don't actually believe that, you know? Or if they do talk like that, they don't actually believe it, you know? Or else, like, if they do say it, like, they won't be so aggressive. Like, because when it's real life, it's different, you know? People see the human right there in front of them. So it's so much harder to be inflammatory like that. Which is why social media is not real. And also, on social media, people just talk about things that don't fucking matter. And they get so angry about it. Like, let me just think about some innocuous thing. Like, the Spider-Verse movie wasn't that good because blah, blah, blah. Because, I don't know, it wasn't accurate to Spider-Man. Or I didn't see anything like that on in a timeline. It's just something I made up, right? And then like people will see this and they'll be like, I can't believe you said that. You're such a shitty person, IRL. Oh my god, like you're probably like a racist or something. And it's like, how much does this matter, man? Like I can't believe thousands of people will go on here like a day, will be just completely offended and just like having their day ruined just by like takes online from people who like will never affect them in real life. Because think about it, someone like, I don't know, talking shit about I don't know, like the latest Mario game, right? That person will not affect your life at all. You know, it's not gonna like bring down the egg prices. It's not gonna like, you know, it's not gonna bring down the egg prices. It's not gonna stop inflation, right? That person is not actively causing like massive economic damage with their take. They're just saying shit online. So in reality, they just don't fucking matter, right? Or like, I guess since I am like someone who is in the MCSR community, someone saying, "Oh wow, calculators are dumb and should be banned," and it's not like, I don't know, like Curryway is someone saying this. It's just some random guy online, right? And like you disagree with it, but like they're being inflammatory about it. Why do you give a fuck about that person? That person will never like affect MCSR. Because there's just some fucking random, bro. You shouldn't get mad at people like that, right? Because that's what they want, right? They want attention for their inflammatory, stupid takes that 70% of the time that they don't believe in, you know? It's just harmful to yourself, right? You're not being good to yourself. You're being a bad person to yourself, you know? And I think I have been being a bad person to myself too. I have been caring too much about rage bait online that doesn't matter. I've been caring too much about getting into arguments with people online that don't matter. And I've been caring too much about making myself angry over things that don't matter. And while I wish I could help out people, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. So I'm going to pretty much delete social media. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's about it, really. There's nothing else I can truly think of. If you are someone that's addicted to social media right now, who is constantly getting angry over things that don't matter, over things that don't really affect your life, and is constantly ruining your mood every day, I just want to ask that whenever stuff like that happens, when you see stuff that happens, think to yourself, how much does this actually matter to me? How much am I getting angry over this unjustifiably? And then after that, get up, try to walk around the house, maybe eat some food if you haven't in a while, maybe get a glass of water, maybe do some grounding techniques like look around the house to try to ground yourself and log off, you know? Because if something is actively making you angry online, it's not worth looking at it, right? You know, it's not worth keeping social media for anything. Not even news, right? Because you can still get that shit from like, you know, like there's multiple places to get news, right? Online. There's news outlets. There's even like YouTubers, right, that do that shit. Twitch channels, you know. There's other places to get news. So like there really is just no reason to keep social media except for this odd feeling of feeling in the know. But sometimes it's good to feel out of touch, like myself. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.